The great idea of idea. This is found in chapter 37 of the Syntopicon 1 in the Great Books of the Western World of 1952. Syntopicon 1 is actually volume 2. The outline of topics under idea is found on page 769. I chose subtopic 2, which is the origin or derivation of ideas in the human mind. Today, I'm looking at subtopic 2b, which goes as follows: the innate endowment or retention of ideas, the activation of the mind's native content or structure by sense, by memory, or by experience. Down within subtopic 2b, I'm looking at the author PLOTINUS, found in volume 17 of the Great Books, specifically looking at his first Aeneid and the Tractate 2, which is on virtue. The assigned reading is as follows. We come so to the question whether purification is the whole of this human quality, virtue, or merely the forerunner upon which virtue follows. Does virtue imply the achieved state of purification, or does the mere process suffice to it, virtue being something of less perfection than the accomplished pureness, which is almost the term? To have been purified is to have cleansed away everything alien. But goodness is something more. If before the impurity entered there was goodness, the goodness suffices. But even so, not the act of cleansing, but the cleansed thing that emerges will be the good. And it remains to establish what this emergent is. It can scarcely prove to be the good. The absolute good cannot be thought to have taken up its abode with evil. We can think of it only as something of the nature of good, but paying a double allegiance and unable to rest in the authentic good. The soul's true good is in devotion to the intellectual principle, its kin. Evil to the soul lies in frequenting strangers. There is no other way for it than to purify itself and so enter into relation with its own. The new phase begins by a new orientation. After the purification, then, there's still disorientation to be made? No. By the purification, the true alignment stands accomplished. The soul's virtue, then, is this alignment? No. It is what the alignment brings about within. And this is that it sees, that like sight affected by the thing seen, the soul admits the imprint, graven upon it and working within it, of the vision it has come to. But was not the soul possessed of all this always, or had it forgotten? What it now sees, it certainly always possessed, but as lying away in the dark, not as acting within it. To dispel the darkness and thus come to knowledge of its inner content, it must thrust towards the light. Besides, it possessed not the originals, but images, pictures, and these it must bring into closer accord with the verities they represent. And further, if the intellectual principle is said to be a possession of the soul, this is only in the sense that it is not alien and that the link becomes very close when the soul's sight is turned towards it. Otherwise, ever present though it be, it remains foreign, just as our knowledge, if it does not determine action, is dead to us. The end.